Two by a wooden screen, and I bet I'm not the only one here that can remember that essential wooden screen on wheels, and I bet you, Rich, can. We both come from Sheffield. And I went to school in the smallest primary school in Sheffield, and from the outside it was a multi-gable, pretty cottage-style school, but inside it was a sheer horror. Within half an hour a teacher would scream, "Stupid girl!" and you were ruled and caned from the first week. And the 2 years prior to that, I'd been to the most wonderful Montessori nursery. And the whole ethos of Montessori is no adult need reprimand a child or raise a voice to a child. And it was a place of sheer love, eternal sunshine, roaring fires, colour, music, dance. And Mrs. Finney, the wonderful woman in charge, a cloud nine of sky blue cotton to the ground, tied with a thin fabric belt and a great swirl of white hair pinned up. If she chose you to sit on her knee for morning story, she'd pick you up like a baby and place you on her knee in the Windsor chair in the fireplace with thirds of a pint going off. And she was an ample bosomed lady, and you'd snuggle in, and before she spoke a single word, you'd be fast asleep. So back to lorries. A single-room bar divided into two by a wooden screen, the infants and the big ones who, at the age of 14, were spat out to field and factory with nothing more burdensome than a few mnemonics. You know those things learnt by heart. The national anthem, the Lord's Prayer, 23rd Psalm, a bit of poetry, the odd bit of mathematical usefulness, a dreamy image of world geography, a jumbled list of wars. 50 years earlier, in 1870, of the 4.5 million, so 50 years before Laurie's time, of the 4.5 million primary-age children, half had no access to formal education whatsoever. And isn't that recent? And education reforms of the 1870s, 80s and 90s had ensured that by the time Laurie went to school in the last year of the First World War, the village school in Slad was stuffed to the gunwales with wild boys and girls, swept up the valley each morning from outlying farms and half-hidden hovels, bringing with them strange oaths and odours. And I'll never forget the twin sisters in my infant class, Janice and Elaine Clark, two of the many children of the local rat catcher, and their very memorable odour. It was Laurie's first amazed vision of any world outside the womanly warmth of family, and the day arrived without warning, and he was rounded on by his sisters, fatly wrapped in scarves, bootlaces tied, cap on head, baked potato in pocket. "What's this?" "You're going to school today." "I ain't." "Yes, you are." "I ain't." And they picked him up kicking and screaming, saying, "Boys who don't go to school turn into rabbits and are chopped up on Sundays."